beautiful. And joining me now is Chieftain head coach Mike Snyder. Coach Snyder, congratulations on a district runner-up. Sorry,
that's okay. It would have been good, but
it would have been great.
Okay for right now.
Chieftains end the year at 7-3. Dickson also ends the year at 7-3. Chiefs finish 6-1 in the district and get the home field advantage for the first round.
Well, that was certainly one of our goals, is to have that first or second place, and knowing that you'd have a playoff game at home that first round, and that's what we were playing for. Dickson was a good football team. Us, Sulphur, and Davis are the three teams that beat them. So, definitely a quality football team, and gave us all we wanted down there. But we played extremely well, and if we continue to play like that, we got a chance. But excited about having that first one at home, finishing in the top two in the district.
And we'll talk more about the actual playoff game after we do the game film. But, Coach, you had to be a little concerned when the game starts off. One of the things I'm saying up in the press box is you either want Cody Walker to kick it out of the end zone or you're going to kick it deep onside.
Well, we were supposed to kick it away from 22, I assure you. And he ended up getting the football. And he ran about 80 yards, but at the same time ran about 120 because he just reversed his field about 3 or 4 times. We had a couple shots at him. We knew that going into the ball game that he would be dangerous, but we felt like that we had a slight wind at our back, and we felt like we might be able to kick in that end zone the first time, so we needed to see what we could do. But we were still supposed to kick it to the side a little bit.
And Coach, I had him catching the ball right at the 1-yard line, so it was just a great return.
It was. And
73 yards net on the return. Johnny Avery, that's the number 22 you're talking about.
That's the guy that I kept, I told those kids if they hear Johnny Avery's name a lot, we're in trouble. But they heard it a lot, but at the same time we were able to bottle him up and not let him break along in that kickoff. So we're real pleased with the way we played against him, because we're talking about big-time speed with that kid.
27-yard lines where Dickson takes their first possession. But, Coach, it took them 6 plays to cover that distance. That may have been an omen of what was to come. You really did play well defensively.
And the touchdown, we actually lined up wrong. They were in a little unbalanced line, and we had shifted to it, after the first or second down. And then for some reason we shifted back. We got a little confused out there, and we shifted back the wrong way, and he popped it in there, and there was a big hole, and he scored. But after that, we did a nice job.
One of the things this team has done very well all year long is respond. And, Coach, you came back with a very nice drive of your own to start, kind of stalled down towards the goal line, ended up getting a penalty. I think you were going to go for it on 4th down.
Right.
Instead, you try the field goal, and that came up empty. Your next possession, 3 plays and punt. But when you punted, you got great field position.
Great field position. I think that's when the fumble occurred on that series right there. Yeah, we tried the field goal, and that's probably one disadvantage of a straight-on kicker is when the ball's wet, you don't get as much leather on. You got the toe, and it's hard to hit sometimes when it's wet, whereas a soccer-style kicker gets, pretty much the side of his foot. So it's difficult as a kicker in a wet ball game, straight-on kicker, to be accurate as he is in a dry field. But we still felt like, we had a chance to hit it. And again, after that, though, things kind of started going our way.
Coach, after the fumble and the score, the Chieftains had the score tied. You make Dickson go 3 plays and punt, and the Chiefs start a very impressive 12-play, 81-yard drive. You used up 333. You only threw 2 passes on the drive, and both of them were big completions.
Yeah, big. I thought Derek, we only threw the ball about 15 times, but Derek made some big completions, like you said, some big yardage. And Derek is a sophomore that, when you look back to see what he is, where he played as a sophomore, as a sophomore at the beginning of the year and where he is right now, tremendous amount of exceptional ability. We tried to increase the learning curve there a little bit because we had to speed everything up, starting a sophomore. So he has done an outstanding job and really continues to get better as we go.
And as the game progressed, the Chieftain defense made some big plays on several occasions, and notwithstanding there towards the end of the first half, forced Dickson into a field goal attempt when they much would have rather preferred to keep going.
Right. We gave up some yardage there in the first half a little bit, but again in the second half, I thought we played really well. We stopped. I think it was in the third quarter we stopped a 4th down. I think that's when it was, and that was a big stop for our defense. I really like the way our defense is playing right now. We're playing with a lot of emotion, playing with some intensity. We're playing with some savvy, and our defense, we knew that going into the thing, we had lost so many starters from last year's defensive football team that it would take us a while to get acclimated to what we were wanting to do, and our kids been able to do that.
And another area that you look at, the way this team has responded, you had an interception on your first drive of the second half, and yet that didn't seem to deter the team. You're only leading 13-7 at the time. You force another punt by Dickson, and then you go quickly on a two-play drive, the big pass to Ryan Fogarty.
Yeah, the one thing that you don't get upset is when we were third and I don't know, about 15 yards when we threw it. And the interception, a lot of times the interception is as good as a punt on a third down, and that happened to be that way. So that's why we went deep on it. And, if it did, we were okay, and that's what happened. And the field position didn't change a whole lot after that turnover.
And, Coach, you look at a couple of key plays in the game. Their big receiver, number one, I can't remember his name.
Can't either, but
I can't
remember the number.
I'll find his name here. Wesley Moore, I believe.
He ran by us a couple times.
He actually got behind us twice. Ball right on the money, and he's been a good receiver all year long.
Yeah.
Drop the ball.
Drop the ball. Sometimes it takes some breaks to win a football game. We've been the other end of that a lot of times where we've dropped them also. But that was we just let him run by us. We had him on man coverage, and we just let him absolutely run by us. He's a little quicker than the guy on him, so he got by us, and we just didn't get a good recovery on him there. But he had dropped a couple balls in the Sulphur ball game against Sulphur, so we was hoping he'd
do it again, and he did. Of course, the wet ball might have played into that as well. Bubba Hudson gets a big play for the Chieftains on the special teams, but that gets wiped out with a penalty.
Yeah, now I tell you, you go watch the film, you can't find it.
I couldn't find it the other night either.
Couldn't find it either. A guy goes down, and we're behind him. But I don't think we ever touched him. And of course, that happens sometimes, and you got to play with the breaks of the game and the way that's officiated, and you can't control that. But that was, I think, we had changed our punt return going into a Sulphur ball game. We didn't put those two kids back because they had not practiced that much. But then after that, we did. And last week against Medill, we didn't run the reverse. And this week, we faked the reverse. And he found a nice seam in there. And like I said, anytime our goal was to try to get a defensive. Our goal every ball game is try to get a defensive touchdown and a special teams touchdown. And if you do that, and we've done that on the defensive side of the ball in several ball games. We just haven't done it off the kicking game.
And John Beavers helped you forget about the punt return being called back, because on the very next play he goes 49 yards.
Exactly, and that was I tell you what, when you see that was a heck of a run, because he makes the linebacker miss at the line of scrimmage, makes a defensive back miss, and hits the sidelines, and he's off. And a young sophomore that certainly had a huge impact on our program.
And I think the Chiefs really finished the game strong. You just totally dominated the contest from that point on.
We felt like at halftime, if we could get one on the board, it's what I told them at halftime. I just don't think they can score twice on us. The way we were playing defense, and we ended up getting two on the board. So in the second half, so that really helped us. And defensively, we rose to the occasion and did not allow them in the end zone that second half. We just we that first series is killing us against everybody. Lone Grove does it. I'm not sure how many people. I have to go back and look, but on several occasions we've got ourselves behind or have established poor field position because of their first drive.
And, Coach, this team continues to have people step up at a different time, guys that really you haven't expected in the past maybe to do a whole lot, but you had a couple more examples again Friday night.
Well, I think what's important is the fact that when you have that opportunity, and we talk about that all the time with our kids, that at some point in time, if you stay in this program up to your senior, you're going to have a chance to excel. And it may be your senior year, it may be your sophomore, your junior year, but if you have enough patience, you will have a time to excel in this program. And there's so many of those kids that are doing that they have put in their time. I've mentioned Scott Cadenhead, Bobby Ellis, and some of those guys that Brandon Bruner, Brandon Minner, both those
neither
guys
one of them played a lot.
Did not play a whole lot in the last couple of years, and they're I think they're probably take away that 96 bunch, they're probably the most two athletic corners we've had in a while.
Okay, well, the Chieftains do get the victory. 25-7 was the final score. Let's go ahead and show you the film right now. Opening kickoff toss there, and the Chieftains won the toss. Coach, you elected to first.
Yeah, like I said, we like to get our defense on the field first and kind of get some jitters out of there. But But here, like you say, this is a heck of a return. There's one, and like I say, there's two. We missed him. Three,
four,
you know.
Four guys that have actually had a hand on him.
He actually is you know, when you run across, really right here, Brandon Bruner actually saves a touchdown.
Yeah,
right
sure
there.
did.
And he is our safety. So he did do a nice job there, Brandon.
So Johnny Avery, 72 yards on the kickoff return. He comes back with a 7-yard gain and brings up 2nd and 3.
Yeah, as you see right now, they're in an unbalanced line, basically to their right. Now they're balanced up, but it gave us a few problems to start with till we adjusted to it. Here we just don't play not too bad, but we playing the bounce out.
Well, you probably were looking for Avery to
right.
carry, too, and that wasn't Avery. First down at about the 11, 12-yard line.
Yeah, and we do it. James Timmons is playing some defense. You know, they're pretty much a inside run team, so we tried to get a little bit more physical person there, and James did a nice job for us. Here we play the fullback well.
Third down at about 7.
And here's when they come back and unbalanced, and we didn't get shifted over. You saw the hole there, and that was our fault. We had an opportunity to stop them right there, and misalignment basically cost us a touchdown.
Dragon Abenovich is the
Another
kicker.
One of those foreign exchange students. Everybody
How come
gets
we don't get one of those, Coach?
We get those girls is what we get.
You said that last. Well, never mind. Well, maybe one of them can kick.
I don't know. She can come out if she wants to.
Pretty good return for the Chieftains out to the 34-yard line. They trail 7-0. 9:23 to go. And Derek's going to
come
scramble.
back and try to throw a little 3-step. Derek does a nice job, and as you watch this game right here, you can see how much more poised Derek is.
He's maturing,
just really.
First down at the 46. John Beaver's going to be stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, here we run a toss sweep into the boundary. They were really a wide side slant-oriented football team, so that's why during the course of the ball game we ran so much into the boundary.
2nd and 11. Geist, the intended receiver on this play.
Yeah, we get a little sprint out, and Derek does a nice job squaring up right there. The ball's a little bit behind him.
Third down and about 10. And Bubba Hudson's going to come up with a big pass play.
A new play we'd put in with Bubba, kind of we call it split, and we're splitting the seam right there. And Bubba needed to score, though, is what he needed to do. We don't have to worry about running it in.
Beavers from the 13, no gain. 2nd down and 10. You're going to go back to John Beavers.
Yeah, again, right here, we see we just didn't get that cut back like we should have right there.
3rd down and about 7. Beavers is going to pick up 2, put you in a 4th and 5.
Yeah, we felt like we had a nice little play call right here on 4th and 5, and that, we.
I don't remember what was the penalty.
We had some movement up there.
So it's now 4th and 10.
Yeah, like I say, we just don't hit it.
Cody misses on the 30-yard field goal attempt, so Dickson takes over at their own 20. Avery picks up 1 on first down.
So right now is where we're having a test with our defense. Okay, we gave up a touchdown. Now we have to stop.
And you really control field position from this point right here. This is a major factor in the turnover and the touchdown for the Chiefs.
Cody Walker played really well for us. I think Scott Caton had another nice ball game up inside.
Wesley Moore, the intended receiver, 4th down. I think there's an offside penalty on Dickson, so it's 4th and 15. 4th and 13. They're forced to punt it away. Chiefs will start with pretty good field position.
Pretty good. We get a little too deep. A lot of times it takes you a time or two to figure out how deep he's kicking the ball, even how much film you watch. But we lined up a little too deep right there.
4:40 to go.
Yeah, come back with an inside run with Ulysses. Again, Ulysses is just not,
not 100%.
Not 100%.
2nd down and 9. Fogarty, the intended receiver here.
Here we try to hit a hitch and go, and we do get behind him a little bit, and don't get adjusted.
3rd and 9. That was a pretty good pass. Ryan almost comes up with it. Nice scramble here, but only picks up about 3.
Yeah.
Pretty good shot there before you go out of bounds.
We got a little late hit there, and we couldn't get them to call it. We need that guy on their sidelines.
This is a punt that's going to be back to about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, do a nice job.
I was hoping he'd try to pick it up.
Yeah, I did too.
3:43 to go. Chieftain defense called on again.
I think this is
the fullback.
What's important right now is to make them want to do punt out of the end zone. Just don't give them a touchdown.
Here's a big play, but they get holding called.
Yeah, we do let them pop this one.
14 yards for Avery, but the holding call will make it 2nd and 6 from the 8. And here's the fumble.
Here we
I
got
think
a nice
John Beavers.
We have it, and then we let it go, and then we get it back. we told them before the ball game that somebody was going to give us one, and we just had to take advantage of it, and fortunately we did. Get a nice call right here with Colt Cheatwood out of the backfield. Colt catches the ball well for us. And
first and goal from the 4.
Here we get Ulysses does a nice job right in there.
And so the Chieftains get on the scoreboard on the 4-yard run. Walker adds the extra point, and with 2:37 to go, we're all tied up 7 apiece.
See, we didn't hit the extra point very well either.
I think we had.
Now here we're trying to deep onside it, and then we miss him about 3 times in there.
So Wesley Moore returns it out to the Chieftain side of the 50 at the 46. 2:25 to go. John Beaver's going to come up, make a nice
job
play
right there. That's the way our defense is designed to try to bounce it out to that backer, and
2nd and 10.
Did a nice job.
They're going to stop Avery here for no gain, about a yard loss.
He ended up with 140-something yards, but it was like 32 carries.
And this one should have been 6 for Dickson.
Yeah, like I say, we let him run by us.
I don't know how he dropped that one.
I don't either.
Couldn't have been a better pass.
We got to defend better than that.
They shift out of the and go with a quick kick there from the deep back. So the Chiefs get the ball back, all tied up 7-7, 19-yard line, 54.9 seconds to go in the opening period. Ulysses will pick up 7.
Here we do a nice job getting the kick out.
2nd down, about 3. Cole Cheatwood picks up the first down.
We need to establish some field position here.
1st and 10 at the 31. No gain on first down. That'll be the end of the quarter.
We come back.
Cody Abbott gets his first catch.
This is really a nice job on Derek and Cody's part, because we make an adjustment out of that.
You didn't get to see it, but Cody went up high to catch that one.
Yeah, our filmer, he didn't have a good ball game.
John Beaver's a tough run here. Only picks up 2 yards, but that one kind of made a statement. 2nd down, about 8. Beavers comes back with a 10-yard get
here. And see, we're running a lot into the boundary right here because of their defensive alignment. Here we come back again, pretty much with the same play.
From the 38 down to the 30, 2nd down and about 2. Ulysses comes back in, picks up 5. 25-yard line, 1st and 10. No gain here on first down.
Yeah, we don't get turned up inside to block that corner.
Nice catch here by Ryan.
Ryan Forgey makes a nice play. Got nice protection. Nice over the shoulder.
Ball's thrown where only Ryan has a chance to catch it, too. Right about the 2-yard line, 1st and goal.
Here, Derek just gets up a little too high, and we don't get the quarterback sneak in.
2nd and goal. Cole Cheatwood says, let me have it.
Come back and do a nice job of getting it in the end zone.
The kick, though,
we never got it on the tee. Never got it on the tee. We faked them out, though.
13-7 with 9:22 to go in the second period. And Dickson will start at the 35 as we kick the ball out of bounds. That was probably better than what we had done so far.
I said, Coach, just give it to them on the 35, and we'll play defense.
Try the reverse. Chieftain defense reads it well.
Another sophomore stepping up.
Dylan Fix-A-Co with a nice play.
Really played well for us.
Go back to Avery. Here, pick up 6.
Yeah, he pops right there. We let him. We get double teamed pretty good right there. We don't stand our ground up inside.
2nd and 9. Avery picks up 5. Brings up 4th down and 5. Dickson had called a timeout, and they come out with another play to Avery. That's probably a pretty good move.
A pretty good move, and we have it right here. Our outside backer doesn't play the bounce out very well. We have a chance to stop him right there.
So 47-yard line, 1st and 10 from there. And they will pick up 4 yards on this play. Number 20. Rob Howell.
Well, he was we really had a lot of problems with him at linebacker. He was a good player.
And then I've got Minner's name down here.
Here's the interception.
Makes the Oski.
Yep. We get now we've got another turnover. 35-yard
line, 6:33 to go. This one's intercepted, but it comes down out of bounds.
Here we try to come back with the post flag, and Derek does a nice job of putting it, out of the on the boundary.
2nd down and 10. John Beavers picks up 4. 3rd down and about 6. And Cole Cheatwood.
Nice little play here.
Picks up
nice
26.
Job, Cole. We have Brian Geist out there in front doing a nice job. If you don't catch a football, you become a blocker.
the important thing on that pass was he was able to hit him in stride, exactly, where he didn't have to slow down.
Here we probably went to we probably should have gone that other receiver. Number one is the guy that we didn't really want to throw the ball up a lot to.
Ulysses on the delay brings up 3rd down and about 9.
Here we try to come back, and we just don't have enough. We got a guy that
almost there
went out. Our tight end got confused and went out on a route, and he's supposed to stay and block, and that's the guy that forced the pressure.
So the Chiefs forced to punt it away, and this one will go into the end zone.
Yeah, we was hoping to really try to play some field position right here and get it inside the 10, and they get the good bounce.
4:50 to go before the end of the half. Dickson starts at the 20, 9 yards gained by Avery on 1st down.
As you can see, the guy's dangerous. When you can almost bust an inside lead like that, every time you touch it, it just scares you to death.
Brian Turner, the fullback, picks up 6, 1st down at the 35. And they run the reverse with Wesley Moore on this one for 11.
Yeah, we're probably pretty fortunate that's all we get out of it. All they get out of it. We played over there, got nice.
And then we get a late hit there.
Yeah, and then they say he doesn't call it till they start screaming about it. So he didn't call it from start.
And then from the 40, Avery picks up 11 down to the Chieftain 29. And then Avery's going to rip off 8.
Yeah, somewhere we have to make a stop right here. You see right there, he just got tripped up.
Chiefs call timeout. Talk it over. Turner picks up the 2 for the 1st down at the 19-yard line. Now just 2 yards for Avery. Yeah. 2nd down and 8.
Like I say, we do a nice job on this series. After the timeout, we do a nice job.
Quarterback is going to be tackled for an 8-yard loss here.
Here we get, I think Zach Scott comes back and makes that tackle.
James Timmons and Scott Cadenhead with some pressure. And like you said, Zach Scott picks up the sack. And Avery will pick up 4 here.
Around the draw. This is probably one of the biggest plays in the game right here. That we make an open field tackle, and he does not pick up the 1st down. So, we force him to kick the field goal.
You're right. That's 4th and 12, and this is a 37-yard attempt, and it looked like it went about 36 and a little bit to the right.
A little bit to the right.
So the field goal's no good. Chiefs go into halftime leading 13-7. And Coach, there's obviously some things that you talked about at halftime. Let's talk about the defense first.
Well, I think we made some adjustments. Of course, I think we did that in the process of the ball game, making adjustments to the unbalanced line that they were running at us, which really gave us some problems there at the beginning, and we just didn't recognize it a couple of times. They did a good job of changing sets on us and keeping us off balance a little bit there in that first quarter with that unbalanced and back to too tight. And so we had to make some adjustments there. Offensively, we felt like we could sprint out and throw the football, and we do, and get a big play there. We felt like still that we could run into the boundary and pick up a good play there. And the guy that we were really having a difficult time was, as I mentioned, was number 20, who was our strong side linebacker. He and 10's a guy that we didn't block last year very well, and 20, I think we might have made him an all-stater that night, that other night. So he was a very good player. But again, we wanted some turnovers and then not give up the big play. And as I told them, if we can get one more touchdown, I feel good, because I told the coaches that I just don't think they score twice on us.
Coach, it seems like whenever you face a running back like Johnny Avery, the key to being successful in stopping him is getting a lot of helmets on the ball carrier, and it seemed like the Chiefs, especially in the second half, had 3 or 4 guys hitting him every play.
Yeah, we stressed that at halftime. Of course, we stressed that all week, but sometimes you have to reinforce those and suggestions sometimes, and those kids did a nice job the second half of getting a lot of people around him. He was, again, a quality back that would give you a lot of problems because of his speed. I mean, he had great balance too. A couple of times that we tripped him up with an arm, or he scores.
So the Chiefs will start the second half receiving the football, and you always like to come out and start strong in the second half. You do pick up 1 first down on this drive, and then you have the interception, I think, when Bubba Hudson slips down.
Right. But we still should have established ourselves right here in the second half. That's what we take pride in, and we just didn't get it done. There were some breakdowns on a couple plays.
Beavers on the return gets pretty good field position for the Chiefs. Start at the 32, and Ulysses Beavers will pick up 4.
Yeah, we'll get 4 yards on first down. We'll take that.
And then on second down, we're going to lose 3.
Yeah, they do a nice job. See, we don't get a guy down right there. He bounces around like a pinball, and got people standing around watching him.
3rd and 11, and John Beavers comes in. He's going to pick up about 14.
And he does this on, like I say, he does
Nice move there.
kind of spin him around, and this is what speed does for you. Okay, and I don't care what game it is, speed is the name of the game.
So the Chieftains have the first down at the 47-yard line. Beavers will pick up 4. 2nd down and about 6. And Ulysses is going to lose some yardage here.
Here's one we had.
We got a bad spot on this.
We had a missed blocking assignment. That's pretty much what stopped the drive right there.
And then we have an illegal procedure.
Right.
So it's now 3rd and about 17.
Here we feel like we got a good play call over the
top.
top.
Falls down, and the defender makes the interception. Looked like Bubba had position.
He had nice position. They just get tripped up.
Loses his footing. 25-yard line, Dickson takes over with 9:07 to go. Avery picks up 4 and comes back with 7 here.
Yeah, he comes back and he bounces it out and cuts back on us. Like you see right there, we trip him up, and we kept him from getting to that 3rd level.
36-yard line, 1st and 10 here. Pick up 4 here.
Here we play the bounce out and force him back inside and do a nice job right there.
2nd and 10. Avery comes back with a 3-yard gain.
Really felt like we did a nice job of keeping our defense mixed up on their offense.
And a penalty here on Dickson.
That's probably a big play in the game right there.
Yeah, it was 3rd and 3. Now it's 3rd and 8.
Here it comes back to the same play. I think we would have tackled him, but that would have certainly changed the position of the game.
So instead of picking up a first down, Dickson's forced to punt the football away. And you make things happen in a hurry on this drive. You start at the 37-yard line with 6:50 to go, just leading in the contest 13-7.
So at some point in time, we've got to get us one to put it a two-score ball game.
Ulysses Beavers will pick up 7 on the first 2 carries, 3rd and 3, and a big play to Ryan Ford.
Here we come back, and we try to draw them off sides first time, and then we come back and change the play and get a nice play. It's really a nicely thrown ball. Ryan makes a nice route cut.
I thought he protected the ball
well
here, too.
Job. You see right there, now he's showing that forgety speed. There's nobody catching him.
We left them all in the dust, didn't
I know it.
And the Chiefs elect to go for 2 here.
And I got a receiver and a running back that should have a running back out in the flat. He doesn't get there.
So incomplete, 19-7, Chiefs lead.
Now we kick one and they fair catch it.
23-yard line, 5:37 to go. Fullback Turner picks up 4, and I think they get called for intentional grounding on this play.
Yeah, here's one we flush him out of the pocket, and Eddie Coast does a nice job. The kid wanted to throw right there, and Eddie had his arms up and his hands up and got in his face. And Eddie's such a great technician, anything that he does.
3rd and 23. Pass easily overthrown. Brings on a punting situation. This is where Bubba makes his return.
Yeah, and like I say, I'm not, right toward the end of it is where they call the clip, and you see we don't touch the guy, I don't think. Right there, the guy misses.
Yep, sure did.
But we might have made contact. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and John Beavers makes it easy to say it doesn't
matter. There's a linebacker that missed him, and there's another one, and now we're putting it on.
Well, there was some speed on that.
Yes, there was. Yeah, he can run a little bit.
The fade's going to be no
good
here.
We checked it off. They get confused. They got to check it to an out if they get deep coverage on it, and we got a little confused right there.
4:25 to go. Chieftains now leading 25-7.
Again, we don't get our left side. We don't get good coverage right there. We just we changed our kickoff team. We've got our best kids out there. We just didn't get a good good cover.
Brandon Bruner again making the tackle at the 50-yard line.
I thought Brandon had probably his best defensive football game all year.
2nd and 7. Avery will pick up 11 here.
Yeah, here we miss him at the line of scrimmage. We have an outside backer that takes a poor path, or we stop him for a 1-yard gain.
36-yard line. Avery picks up 7. It seems like every time they got a good return, that kind of got their offense juiced up.
This is probably a key series in the ball game, and the fact are they going to answer back and put it back,
where they have a chance.
Where they have a chance.
2nd down and 7. Hauser and Fixico going to make a big play here on the quarterback.
This is one that he boots, and we do a pretty, pretty decent job of coverage. He got about 3 yards out of it. We'll give him that.
And that brings up third down and about 6. And they go to Avery for 3.
Come back with a counter tray, and we do a nice job.
And here's where you stop them on
Yeah,
fourth down.
this is a nice job on our part. We get it. Cody Walker doesn't make the tackle, but on his stunt, he gets a hand on him and slows him down.
I thought Cody Walker and Bob Schultz both did a good
Both
job
played
of
well.
helping slow him down.
Sure did.
Not always got the tackle, but waited until he got some help.
That's what you in a game of football. It's such a game of chess where you got to play holes, and you got to get a body in that hole and make something else happen. We were able to do that.
That was the end of the third quarter. We had it again.
Yeah, we had us a first down right there.
Sure did.
You know, we just
Underthrew that one a little.
we don't get squared up very well right there.
Thought we might come up with a break there.
Yeah.
Dickson starts at the 47, 11:47 to go here in the fourth quarter. 2 yards gained by Avery. He's going to pick up nothing on this play.
Nice job on our part right there.
And then this is the throwback pass to the quarterback.
Yeah, and we had not seen this one.
With
No, wait. This
that's
one,
not.
yeah,
This is
this
the
is
one.
the catch that they make on the boundary.
That was
Yeah.
the quarterback, but
Yeah.
the guy that threw the ball was the wideout.
Yeah, we'd worked on that, and we had nice coverage. The ball was just thrown out to the outside, and now we come up and make some big plays.
Fixico gets the 8-yard sack, and Cadenhead,
Now we get a
Timmons,
lot of
Schultz.
pressure right there. You know, I think their other quarterback, that left-hand kid, doesn't throw real well. That's why they give it to the number 1. Now we get the quarterback throwback, which we had not seen, but we do a decent job of getting some white jerseys. Bob Schultz makes a really nice play. I think they had a clip right there, and
Yeah.
we took the fourth down, and really nice break on the ball right here. Brandon wasn't in the end zone. I thought he was in the end zone. But he wasn't.
Kind of hoping he would have just knocked that one down.
Mm-hmm.
But in the heat of the battle,
Heat of the battle.
you're trained to
We'll
go
take it.
intercept it.
We'll
That's
take it.
right. You
We'll
take
take
it at
it.
the 8-yard line as to not have it at all.
Here, it's important that we establish, again, I can't remember how much time was left right here.
8:34.
8 minutes, so,
When
in a
this
high
drive
school
started.
football game, anything can happen.
And you pick up a couple of first downs here before you punt the ball away. First down out at the 29, and Cole Cheatwood will pick up 2 here, and Dickson will call a timeout after this play with 6:25 left to go.
Here we're just trying to, again, keeping it on the ground and trying to eat some clock up and establish some field position there. They do a nice job on the stunt right there. We don't pick up. That was a good call on their part.
3rd and 10, Ulysses will be dropped for a 1-yard loss on this
Here
one.
we come back with a sweep, and we just, they played defense about as well as anybody that we had played.
Chiefs punt it away. Dickson will start at the 41-yard line. 4:58 to go. Avery picks up 6, and then Hauser's going to come up with an interception.
Like I say, here's the quarterback coming, and like I said, Tyler played center field really nice right there, and does a nice job of getting us some yardage.
And I think we get a block, the illegal block.
I think somewhere.
Return goes all the way to the
Yeah.
35, or is that a penalty on them at the end of the play? I can't remember.
I think we started right there, though.
23-yard line.
Yeah.
3rd and 7, and here's where we get illegal downfield.
Yeah, here the running back's a run play, what it was.
Right.
And the running back went the wrong way, and Derek was forced to make a decision and wisely just take that penalty and go. I was really surprised they took it because that would have been 4th down. But they took it and gave us another chance to get some more time off the clock.
Chieftains get whistled for delay, so it's now 4th and 13, and Geist has a shot at this
shot
one.
at a touchdown.
Yep.
4th down, we're going to throw it up, and Derek does a nice job of finding the guy on the stretch, and kid gets his hand in there, and Brian disappointed, I know, but he's done a great job for us this year.
So Dickson takes over on downs at the 27, 2:21 to go. They lose 4. Avery comes back with 8 on this one.
But, just what you like right now. I mean, I know they're putting the football in their athletes' best hands, but
3rd and 6. Avery picks up a couple. They run the reverse here. Schultz turns it back in. He doesn't make the play. Then Coates and Cadenhead.
He was proud of that tackle because that really is a tough tackle out there in the open field.
And the Chiefs run your favorite play.
Chiefs win.
At home Friday night against the Blanchard Lions.
We hadn't played them in a while. Back in the mid-'80s, we were in the same district together. That's the last time we'd played them.
We'll talk a little bit more about the Lions. Let's look back at the Chieftains' previous opponents. A tough night for all three of the non-district foes. All three of them were in the playoffs. Well,
yes.
Yeah, McLeod was also.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about McLeod.
Yeah.
But all three of them lost. Wewoka loses to Stratford. They come in as the 4th place team, I think, in their district.
Yeah, 3rd or 4th. I can't remember. They have to go on the road. So that's... I think they go to Keota. I don't know too much about them, but I think they'll...
I thought it was Gore.
Gore, you're right. It was Gore. Keota, maybe Conowall goes to Keota. One of them goes to the other.
I think Conowall got knocked out, didn't he?
I thought they were in. The paper said they were in. So
yeah. You know more about it than I do.
I thought I read that.
Okay, and Tecumseh, their big showdown with Glenpool turned out to not be such a big showdown.
No, such a big show. The running, you lose a kid like the Tennille kid that they lost last year, and they come back with a kid that's rushed for 1,500 yards, and obviously they've got some athletes stocked there, and that guy is such a coach there. Coach Edwards, such a nice guy and very deserving of what's happened to him in that program because he's worked extremely hard to get there.
And you look at Ada against McLeod, that must have been a great game, 31-28. The 3rd place team, Ada, McLeod the 4th place team.
Ada goes to McGinnis, and McLeod, it goes to Clinton. That's a tough road right there.
Red Tornado.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Don't want to do that again, do you?
No,
I think you had a chance to play them one year not too long ago.
82. In non-district.
And elected to go with McLeod instead. That was
we elected to go with Ada.
Oh.
And then we picked up McLeod
okay.
after that, yeah.
That was a good coaching.
That was
Okay, let's talk a little bit about our own district, Coach. A big game, Hugo and Lone Grove, and that was a pretty close contest, and you called it last week. You thought Lone Grove would win.
Yeah, I just felt like up front they were just so physical that Lone Grove Hugo would have a difficult time controlling, but then at the same time, you knew that the running back from Hugo was going to get loose some, and I think he did and scored a couple of touchdowns, but I think the running back, and number one that broke that first one on us, and he got hurt, which fortunately was for us in our ball game and didn't run much, but he had about 270-something yards in that ball game against Hugo. Really, I think Lone Grove was probably playing. They ended up 6-4. Playing really, really well.
And we know 3 of those losses are to Seminole, Dickson, and Sulphur.
Right.
So that's
and Davis was the other one.
Davis was the other one. Yeah. So that's pretty good company.
Yeah.
Their victory prize for winning is to get to go on the road to Kingfisher.
I really think that I don't know if they'll win the football game.
You think they'll give them a good game?
I really think that'll be a good football game.
Every year it seems like there's a 4 that beats a 1
somewhere,
and that may be the game. Veneta against Cleveland will be the other side of that bracket. Both of those squads 8-2 going into the playoffs.
Yeah, Cleveland has last year and this year really put some things together. Coach Frazier's up there doing that, and Veneta, of course, has been a dominant team in our class, winning 7, 8, 9, 10 ball games every year. We played them a few years ago in the second round. So they certainly have an excellent program.
So the winners of those 2 contests will play each other. Is that correct, Coach?
Correct.
And that'll be on Friday the 21st. Looking at our side of the bracket, Berry Hill against Hilldale. Berry Hill, the district champ there at 9-1, and Hilldale, a 4th place team at 6-4.
Right. We, Seminole and the Blanchard matchup again will go to Berry Hill, and Hilldale winner. Berry
You said
Hill,
that like there was no chance for Hilldale to win.
I don't know. I mean, Victor Christian beats Berry Hill 33-0 last week. That's the only loss they've had. So, I mean, I don't know if they had some kids hurt. You don't know whether they held some kids out or what they did. But Berry Hill has been just scoring, 40, 50 points on everyone. Every one of the highest scoring teams in our class.
And, Coach, to answer the question you had in your mind earlier about where Connor was going, it was actually Bowlegs that was going to go there, I think is what Randy Neal's. No? Okay. Well, tell us what you're trying to tell us. Speak up, Randy. Now's your big chance.
Bowlegs is playing
Oh, okay. All right.
Stonewall's not in it.
That's what I thought. Okay. And we'll skip over the rest of that bracket just to know that the winner would play again on Saturday, November the 22nd. So that is already set in stone.
Right.
Looking at the other side of the bracket, our district champ Sulphur at 9-1 hosts Piedmont 4-6.
And that's the team that they played the first round last year. And Piedmont had a running back, and watching him on field, he's just a tough, hard-nosed runner. He's rushed for a couple of 100 yards the last 2 or 3 ball games. But Sulphur plays such great defense, you really don't see much of a problem there.
And Victory Christian, the team you were talking about upsetting Berry Hill, 6-4 goes against Roland.
Roland, I think, is a team that a lot when we started the season, and they got a new coach a couple of years ago, and he does a nice job. And they said they had some athletes coming, and obviously they do. Of course, Victory Christian is a private school, which you don't know who is. A lot of times they may not have that kid last year. He may be playing over at Jinx, and all of a sudden he's playing at Victory Christian. So.
Do a little recruiting?
A little bit. I'm not going to say that.
Okay. You didn't say that.
No.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the other district champ, the Ironheads from Eufaula. Pretty good football team.
Very good football team. Probably have 2 of the most quality athletes in the underclassmen ranks. Sophomore quarterback, his name's Buck Halter. We played them last year in junior high, and he was a freshman quarterback, big, tall kid that really has some athletic skills, can really play. And a running back named Bowie, who I think he's a junior. He had a little brother played in the 8th grade. We never tackled his little brother, so if he's like him, then he's certainly a heck of a player.
Their play host to Sequoia Claremore, a 5-5 team. Eufaula be the odds-on favorite in that game. Tuttle against Dickson. Tuttle at 8-2. Dickson 7-3. The one thing you have to look at Dickson at, and just know that if Avery got loose early in a game, he could make it really tough on a team.
This is what is going to make it difficult for Dickson, is the fact that Tuttle really likes to throw the football. And I think that's where Dickson, is a little weak,
deficient
at a corner and safety there. So, but again, I don't know how good Tuttle is on defense. Everybody says they're not as good as they have been. So Dickson could, give them some problems there.
So that's a Friday, November 21st contest between probably Eufaula and Tuttle, but that's why we have to go play the games.
Exactly.
Let's talk a little bit about the Blanchard Lions. They're going to come into Chieftains Stadium with a 4-6 record. It wasn't too long ago we had a Marlowe team coming in here. Was it 5-5?
5-5.
And they gave us everything we wanted.
So again, there's not a whole lot of differences in 2s and 3s. I think the discrepancy is when a 1 plays a 4. There's a lot of difference in those, but in most matchups in 2s and 3s, there's not a lot. We had seen them on film against Lone Grove early in the year, and they throw the ball a lot. They have basically installed OU's offense is what it looks like. Their kid, he's not a Jason White, but he's not a bad player. He throws the ball nice. They got a couple of receivers. Defensively, they line up in a lot of different fronts, which will cause us a few problems if we don't get adjusted right. So I look for just an excellent football game. Again, I really like the way we're playing. I like our position where we are. This is what we stressed on our kids. After we got beat by Sulphur, is we knew that we're probably not going to win a district championship now unless something really happened and them getting beat, which was unlikely. So our goal was to be 7-3, be a district runner-up, and play that first one at home.
And, Coach, I know you don't ever want to talk too far down into the playoffs, but if you look at the road for the Chieftains this year, it looks pretty favorable.
Well, I tell you what, you knew you were going to have to play. You're going to have to play. The state championship is going to run through about 4 or 5 places. It's going to run through Sulphur, it's going to run through Eufaula, it's going to run through Kingfisher, and it's got to go through Berry Hill. Hey, we've got our opportunity to go make those things happen. It doesn't matter, whether you play in the first round, second round, you still got to go beat those people. And hopefully, people are saying the same thing about us, that they know they have to come through Seminole to get there. So we like I said, we like our chances. Again, this group of players is a group of overachievers, and that's what we told them we had to be at the beginning of the year. We need to be overachievers. We're not a great football team, but hey, when we put our nose to the grindstone and work and develop a great work ethic and and get things done in the right way, we have an opportunity to beat anyone we play.
One of the things I've liked about this team, Coach, is it doesn't seem like they let anything bother them.
Right.
If something bad happens on the field, they just pick themselves up and go try to make another
That's
play.
a very good point. We've told them that. We tell them it's a 4-quarter ball game. We know that once we get behind, the ability that we have with our no huddle and the ability we have to throw the football gives us an opportunity to get back in the football game, and that's done that.
Coach, injuries is always a factor when you come up to this time of the year. Chieftains, of course, had some problems earlier in the year. Baker's still out with the injury, but what's the health of the Chieftain squad going into the playoffs?
Probably as healthy, take Adam Baker away, from the equation. And I'd like to say something about Eddie Coates, who moved over there at center, just doing an outstanding job for us. And Eddie is one of those kids that I tell you what, if you had 22 Eddie Coates, you would be something because of the heart he has and the way he plays. But Adam actually, he might be able to make it back if we got to the second, third round. But Ulysses is a guy that we don't think
still fighting.
Probably still not going to get healthy until the season's over with. Those ankle injuries just do not. The bad thing about it is we got the bad one healed, and he hurt the other one at Medill a little bit. So he's got two bad wheels, and that's hard to overcome.
I meant to mention it during the game film, but Coach, he made one of his classic hits on a defender the other night that looked like the old Ulysses, and then right after that is when his ankle looked like it started really bothering him again.
He just, we spot him in there. What we're trying to do is spot him in there and get some plays out of him before he dings it up again. Knowing that when he gets dinged, you have to take him out of the ball game for a while, and he may not be able to go back in. But we tape it and brace it and everything we can. But a lot of times, high ankle sprain like he had is worse than a break.
Kickoff at 7:30 Friday night?
7:30, yes.
Right here at Chieftain Stadium. The passes won't be good for those. They've got to pay to get in.
OSSA passes are the ones that we accept. Our complimentary passes are not accepted. This is a lot of people may not understand. This is a ball game where we split the gate with the Activity Association. We split the gate with Blanchard, and we get some of the gate. So you don't make a whole lot. It's first couple playoff games, but last year we probably had one of the best years that we've ever had in playoff money, which has really helped us in our entire athletic budget. And that's what some people don't understand is we just have one general athletic budget. All our football money and basketball money goes into one pot, and we pay for basketball, we pay for golf, we pay for tennis, we pay for baseball and track, all out of that. So the success that we've had the past several years has really enabled us to get some funds for us to be able to do some things athletic-wise.
Well, Coach, we want to invite everybody to come out Friday night, cheer on the Chieftains at 7:30, and we'll be right here again on Channel 7 next Tuesday night.